It's pretty dang fancy, man.
It works in this.
We've
Zoom
ordered the
environment.
holographic display. There's some microchip that's still in China. Can't get that
That and everything else.
projector work right.
That's where everything's at right now.
Yeah, it's
So,
there's 50th, 45th right here.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, okay, so this is,
Imagery will load here in a minute. It just takes a second
so
sometimes.
this is Cody Eck's property right here. And this is the Avenue subdivision here. This is the Boulder Creek Estate subdivision here, the dead end road here, the dead end road here. So Cody asked us to plat his property here to, have this, some of this road here, so eventually tie in here. We have two lots here, and then our original preliminary plat just had his 4 lot, this piece here, then when we turned it into a plat. Planning and zoning said they wanted us to plat the whole parcel, which is here. So then we resubmitted our preliminary plat with these 4 lots, this road, and then Cody's lot here for 5 lots on the preliminary plat.
Are we getting ahead of a decision that's gonna have to come to us in the future?
Not from planning and zoning, but you might have the problem of on 45th if it came to having to do acquiring the right of way.
So be careful that we don't get into something that we gotta decide.
All right, well, I don't think we have to decide on anything. I'm just trying to give you a background of where we are today. So,
Okay.
on a parallel track to where we were with this preliminary plat, then Bonneville County Road and Bridge has been working on the design of
that's the
45th. As part of that process, their agents have been talking to Cody about obtaining the right of way here. And so I don't know, I'm not exactly sure where they are in that process. I know the appraiser's been with Cody talking to him about that. Is that correct? Cody?
yeah.
So that's where they are in
been
that
there a couple
process. I don't know if there's been any talk of money or anything like that. I know that the agents for Bonneville County have been talking to Cody about obtaining the right of way. Well, so now we've got these 2 projects going on here, the preliminary plat that has dedicated right of way, or now, if there wasn't the preliminary plat, there wouldn't be right of way, then there'd have to be a right of way take for the road. So it's my understanding, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if we weren't in here doing the plat, and it was just this, then the county then would reimburse Cody for his right of way. Is that an accurate statement?
So what we've been doing is there's both prescriptive right of way and the right of way that is needed for the road project. The negotiators and the right of way agents have been approaching landowners all along this corridor. And there's been offers of purchasing right of way land that is not prescriptive in nature to start with,
Yeah.
to get to a 50-foot from center line or section line or whatever, to get that 50-foot from each side of the road.
Okay.
So that would, if there wasn't any planning going on, the right of way would be approaching the X with concern with their parcel to try to get that 50-foot of right of way. Again, part of which is prescriptive and part of which is not.
So if I understand it right, then we're kind of in a limbo to where if you weren't already doing that, you could get paid for it.
Right.
But in the
That's-
platting,
that's
you're gonna give it up for nothing.
gonna give it up
Yeah.
for nothing,
Yeah.
and
And
Road
we-
and Bridge has asked us to pay for Cody's portion.
For the improvements along 45th East as part of the subdivision process.
So now as part of the platting process, Cody has gone from just before the platting process, talking to the negotiators about selling right of way to now building and paying for this road
And a portion of the
and a
improvement.
portion of this road, and not getting paid for the right of way, giving the right of way up and paying for it. So now he's got two roads to build with this plat, or if he just withdrew the plat. That's kind of what I said, why don't we just withdraw the
Yeah.
application? And then attack this plat
I
later.
mean,
And
if that's,
I don't know,
that's a way to handle it.
I'm
if
just
you want
talking, because I
The
don't
first
know.
alternative.
Anyway, that's why we're.
Because right now, we're only in preliminary phases.
Mhm.
So there's been nothing final. The plat hasn't been final.
Right.
There's no right of way dedicated to the county, so really that doesn't belong to the county yet. So if the project happens before the plat's final, the county's gonna have to acquire that right of way.
I don't think that, I mean, we're not in a position to tell you what to do. on that, Right, I mean, because it might make significant delays for you.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of why I'm here is I would like to move forward with the plating process. But I can't afford to do the improvements out the front. I mean, it was it's 2 tracks, separate tracks of land legally here, but through our process, we had to do the rezone on all of it. And I ain't gonna be able to afford all of the engineering, all of the things that are required out the front and back.
Sure.
So if there would be a way to move
So as far
forward.
as the engineering of the improvements along 45th, the county is already bearing that cost. We're bearing the cost of the right of way negotiators' time and all of that. That's already been part of it. JV engineers are doing the design and they have gone through and broken out an estimate for the improvements along the frontage of Cody Eck's property and provided that to them. So there would be no engineering costs on what would be required on 45th.
Right, Cody's not paying for any design on or right away stuff on 45th. He's
Correct.
paying me to design and plat the west property. It is a cost for him to pay for his share of the road.
But that's gonna have to happen regardless, right?
I don't know. I mean, if
The
this
west
was, if
part.
it would, I guess that's the question is he,
Oak Brook will be designed and paid for by him regardless.
Right,
The only
absolutely.
thing
I
that's
don't know.
really in question.
yes, yes,
Is
that's correct.
45th.
Right, right.
Correct.
I see your options. I think they're your options. Decide what you want to do. I mean, I don't.
I don't,
The county could say, well, yeah, go ahead and pay for it. And then, we don't have to buy it or, go ahead and give it to us so we don't have to buy it. But I think that's your choice to make.
Yeah. So is that, if I was to hold off and we didn't plat this till like a year or two from now, and then we develop it? Because I mean, you guys are gonna want Oak Brook. I think the master plan is Oak Brook going through, right? I mean, that's ultimately where we need to, or they want to be.
To provide the connectivity through there, I mean, it makes sense. for-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's two dead end roads, so, yeah.
eventually it'll go all the way through, yes.
And it's pretty certain that the county's going to continue to acquire property along 45th, right?
Correct.
And
Yeah.
buy some easement,
Well,
To
buy
do
some right of way.
some right of way
Yes,
for the expansion we need. So
Yeah.
that's going to happen unless you've already deeded the property or, deeded.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been anything done. I guess what I'm wanting to know is there any way we can change the conditions of that frontage, giving that up? Can we still move forward without, can we still move forward?
Because the whole property's zoned. So from planning, if you're gonna plat it, will require you to file a master plan for the whole property. If you file a master plan for the whole property, you have frontage on 45th, you have to give up the right of way. That's how we do every plat in Bonneville County. So really, your options are basically to withdraw for now, let the county get done with what they're doing there and come back, or keep moving forward now, and you're gonna dedicate that right away to the county and participate in the improvements of the road frontage, because that's what we required for every other property owner.
Even though it's two separate tracts of land.
Yep, but it's all zoned RA2, so it all has to be platted and it's all owned by the same entities. So
Okay.
I have a question. So does that mean we can never separate it and sell off the back?
Through a plating process, you can separate it off,
yeah,
but that's a plating process.
Yeah, so once this is platted, this is the plat that we're on. So once this is platted, there'll be 5 lots. And so there'll be the 4 lots that don't belong to you, and then your eastern lot. Essentially here to the east, that will be your lot, but it will be on the Oak Brook plat. And then there'll be 4 other lots here that you sell to individual owners.
But I'm saying, like, say a developer came to us and said, hey, we just want your back property. We can't sell that.
you'd have to plan for that by stubbing a road up to that property to be able to have access to it.
Which is
It's
already
there.
there.
It's
The
there.
Oak Brook Road touches our property.
You could sell that separately, yes. But as of right now, it's in the same ownership. You're going to plat it, so you have to file a master plan.
So if it was in a different ownership, a developer could come in and do that and not have to improve 40.
Yeah, so if a developer came in and just bought the back portion, he could just buy that and continue it through.
Okay.
But where it's all in the same ownership right now, you have to file a master plan for the whole property.
Okay. So it sounds like we're gonna need to just hold off, I guess. I mean, that would be the smartest thing to do. As much as I would like to continue to go, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know? So will all of the work that Jeff has done on this plating, are we gonna, like, what does that look like? If we wait and we do it at a later time, are we gonna be able to use a lot of this that we've already worked
You
on?
can use the same stuff. You'll probably just have to come back to planning and zoning for another hearing because the time will have expired to get the final plat recorded. But you can use
Okay.
everything that you have
We just
pre-existing.
have to essentially
Almost.
reapply.
Yeah.
Submit a new application because of the timing, but what we've done so far doesn't go, we don't have to throw it away. We can use it when we reapply, essentially.
What's our time frame? When will the county do that? Finish acquiring all that right away?
So we're working on it actively through this process. So our hope is that we get most of the right of way acquired by late fall, when we're hoping to go out to bid on the project.
Okay.
That's what we're working towards.
Yeah, there's been appraisers. I've been working with appraisers,
For
through-
months.
yeah, yep. Along, they've been out taking pictures and,
So
Yeah.
you've been working with them for a while, but the plat and the rezone and stuff happened before the decision by the commissioners to
To widen
improvements along 45th.
to
all
widen
the
the
way up
road.
to Iowa.
Yeah.
So this did start before the decision was made to do all of the section of 45th Line.
Which was really accelerated on our part. I mean, we kind of surprised Lance with this a year
Yeah.
ago, I guess, or less than a year ago.
been about a
But
year
we
ago.
just felt like we had some extra money there. The demand is there, it needs to be done. And so we
I agree with that.
really accelerated what our intentions were.
Yeah, so where are you going with 45th? You going from First? Where does it start, the widening project
The
down?
widening project starts just south of First Street and goes through that first roundabout up to Lincoln, through that roundabout, and then an additional 2 miles is what's being designed,
Is that-
Oh, all the way to Yellowstone?
all the way to Iona.
Oh, Iona.
It goes to 49th, doesn't it?
Yeah,
49.
49,
Is
sorry.
that a 5-lane or a 3-lane?
So the first mile will be 5-lane, and then it will neck down to 3-lane after the second 2-lane roundabout.
So 5-lane in front of Thunder Ridge.
So it'll be a 5-lane in front of Thunder Ridge, yes.
Yeah,
And so north of the Lincoln roundabout, it'll be 3 lanes similar
It'll
to.
next track down, yeah. And through this portion, it was intended to be 3 lanes, designed as 3 lanes. And that's why the improvements that you were shown from JB are less than what the 5-lane section would.
Well, that's really what I had. One other question that I had, and Lance and I talked about this, is there is if you guys look right up here, this is a shared driveway into me and the neighbor. And the purpose for that is because there was a ditch here, right, with a bridge. Yeah, you can see the ditch here. Anyway, this has been a real safety concern for us because traffic coming in and out of me and my neighbor. And I was looking at the ordinance, and the ordinance said that each driveway is allowed a 30-foot opening as long as
So there's a confusion here because, again, part of this was through the rezoning and getting a subdivision. No subdivision lot is allowed direct access onto an arterial road, which 45th is. Also, 45th East being an arterial, we try to, as much as possible, minimize direct accesses. So having a shared access is actually safer for the traveling public. Safety is a concern. And so we try to minimize those access points, and having a shared driveway minimizes those access.
But the ordinance, though, each person is allowed a 30-foot driveway in front of their house.
So in most residential areas, yes, you're right, 30-foot driveway approach for each individual lot. It also goes that no residential lot will have direct access onto an arterial road, which 45th is an arterial road.
So who decides what's arterial and what's not? Because I mean, you can drive anywhere in the county and you can see lots of driveways, horseshoe
For
driveways.
existing stuff, yeah.
What is an arterial road versus a non-arterial road, I guess?
So when you're talking about the section line roads, all of them are considered through Bonneville County to be arterial roads, all of them.
Heavy traffic mover.
35th, 45th, 55th,
Isn't,
65th.
they're all designated on the BMPO, right?
Right.
They're all designated, some are minor arterials and some are in the BMPO plan, some of
They
them
all
are
got
minor stuff.
So question, if our original bridge would have been wider, it would have been fine, but because our original bridge was narrow, that's what's limited us.
Yeah,
So-
we
So when
need,
it comes to the
need a
original,
way for-
when the original thing happened, I'm not sure. I can't speak to what happened back when they put it in. If it had been put in at 50-foot or 60-foot wide, I don't know that we would be in a position of making you tear it out.
yeah,
We are piping the ditch and thereby removing that hazard from the equation by piping the ditch.
Can they widen that driveway out to 40 feet then?
So I did offer that to them, to offer it to be 40-foot or with 20-foot, 20-foot. I did offer that to Cody, but Cody didn't want to.
my issue is I pull a fifth wheel for work, like that big trailer out there. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
long.
Oh, sure.
And so I park and we got clear down to here. I mean, we have 167 feet or 170 feet of frontage here. This ditch is now gone. And I put in a 30-foot here with 70 feet of in between. So we meet the requirements off of the property line.
For a non-arterial road.
Yeah.
Planning and zoning ordinance allows one access onto an arterial road, period. On platted lots.
Well,
Per household.
per house.
Correct,
I
but
mean,
you
per
already
house.
have that one access with the shared, so like I told you before, the only way
That was when we were planning a subdivision, though. Like that.
Even
this is-
regardless, though, you already have your access with the shared access.
Well, that's fine if we keep the shared access as long as I have 30 feet from the center this way. I don't care if it's, I don't mind the shared if we have.
But you
to.
can't have two,
That's
because
fine,
even
we'll
though-
Scratch the second one.
even though that's shared.
Well, I need 30 feet of like somewhere here on my property because this fence is gonna come out. The neighbor's getting fenced off. That they pill out in, you know, in the driveway. It's just, it's not a good relationship there. And they're always pilling out. So we're bringing the fence out. So where does the fence come out?
Oh, you're.
I'm
gonna
fencing
extend
the property
fence And
off.
you're gonna split the driveway, the entrance. You're gonna
That's,
Split it.
that's what,
That's what they wanna do, that's what's,
but where does, when I go to fence them off, because right here is a quest box too. That has to be moved. I don't know if you guys have been out there. but
Yeah, and
there's-
you won't be able to have any fence in the right of way, and you're gonna have to be a certain lower height. Back past the right of way, I'd have to go through the ordinance with you, but
Yeah, that.
you're not gonna
that
be able
fence
to
is
pull
gonna-
that all the way out to that access anyways.
I'm pulling the fence out to wherever my property line is here. I think the right of
So
way,
the current property line or the 50-foot from center line that it will be.
yeah,
With the line.
after you guys acquire that property, I'm bringing the fence line out.
So there's some other stuff in.
Yeah,
planning and
there's some
zoning
other
to make
stuff
sure
in the
it's-
zoning ordinance. You've got to drop it to 3 feet within like 15 or 20
There's
feet of
site
that
distance
line
terms you have to
for
abide by.
site
Yeah,
obstruction.
that's fine. But just, so what is that gonna look like when I bring that fence out to that center line?
It's gonna be harder to use the existing access. It makes it harder to use. the
Well,
existing
yes and no. I mean, they both have the right to an existing access,
Which, yeah, is there, yeah.
but they should both have that right to a 30-foot or what is the
So,
normal?
30-foot.
The only other way that I
Then they
can
should
see that,
both be
the only other way I can see that we could do it, and I talked to Cody about this, to talk to Lance, and I don't know if he talked to you about it, is basically that existing access would have to be abandoned. And then we'd have to approve a new access for Cody and a new access for the property owner to the north, which is adding an access. But that's the only other way I can see you can do it. and
I
meet
don't
the-
understand why it has to be abandoned. You've already got one access here and one access there.
They'd be too close to each other, right?
Right, but
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
saying if Cody wants to put another one down here, if he wants it to go down here somewhere, he can't have
He's
that
not
one access.
asking for that. All he's asking is for 30 foot.
Yeah, and he could widen that out.
I was
Am I
initially,
correct?
you're correct. I was initially asking for 2 30-footers,
But we can't do that.
which, yeah, like, I'm just trying to get,
So wouldn't it be okay to just expand that one to 30 feet
Well,
from
so-
center line?
What
The property
happens
line.
then is you end up with a 60-foot wide approach.
Not really, because you have a fence, you have 2 30s. You don't have 160.
Well, you don't have the fence out enough to do it. I mean, the fence isn't gonna come all the way out to
But you
separate.
have
those.
2 property owners.
we need
You
to
do have
abandon
to
that.
curb out owners.
That needs to be
Or
abandoned
the
because
other-
it's buried. The ditch is buried now. I mean, things change. The reason that access was
So-
there is because
And
there
that
was a
was,
bridge.
you never talked to me about abandoning the existing one.
I think
No,
that would
no,
be,
we
the-
did not.
I think that would be the thing to do, because the bridge isn't needed anymore. So even if you're wanting 30
Yes.
feet and to leave it there,
Yes.
then we can make it meet the requirement of off the property line for what we require for zoning anyways, instead of having the
Did
60.
they take the bridge out when they buried the ditch?
No,
So the bridge is still there, but
no,
bridge is
it's
still
out
there.
'cause it was
No,
built.
there's, yeah, they
So-
pulled the pipe out and put new pipe in. So there's no bridge. I mean,
well,
there's,
the pipe is the bridge.
the pipe is the
right, but
bridge.
the existing, they pulled out the existing structure to do what they did.
Yes,
okay.
correct.
Right, so why not build the fence to the right of way with the sight line, with the 3 foot? And then Cody
if you're going to do that,
Abandon that
and
one.
abandon this one and build yours 6 foot away from the property
Yeah,
line,
that's what it has to be,
and your neighbor has to build his 6 foot away from the
because they
property
can't be
line.
That's why
right
you
on,
can't use.
yeah.
Yes, can't be.
Okay.
You gotta be separated.
I-
didn't
They've
know
got
they
to be
could do 12
separated
feet.
by that 6 foot from the property line.
That's why I
Yeah,
told them to
and
talk
I don't
to
have
you, so you'd have to be okay
But
with.
that's
the new
forcing
lo-
the
the
neighbors
new
to do the same
locations.
thing.
Yeah.
And expending money. The neighbors talk to me, it's like, we don't want to spend a dime, we're happy with the existing access.
Our neighbor's a lady, a widow lady, so who's he?
It was her, I think it was her son that was talking to me.
Yeah, we need that separated, like, we need to abandon it, it needs to be separated.
If both of you come to me with a plan to say, we're gonna abandon this and we're gonna make our own over here, and they're gonna make their own over here, and it's both 30 foot wide, and it's away from the property line by 6 feet, I'm willing
Look
to
at it.
entertain
You
that.
have to have agreement from the neighboring.
Otherwise, they don't have an access.
They got one.
Looks like they
Just
both
have to
have
widen it a
access,
little.
there's no
So
ditch
what
there
if-
now.
what if
But
you
it's
abandon-
right on the
what if you
property line, and
abandon-
That's against the zoning ordinance.
What if you,
That's the problem we're gonna run into, is that was permitted to be a shared access, and that's why it's allowed
it
to be
needs to
on the
be an
property
agreed.
line. Yeah,
That's why it has to be an agreement between the two property owners,
That makes sense.
because it is now a shared access, and that was the way those two houses were built.
and the problem you run into with shared access is they both have equal say in it. That's why we put the property line down the middle and not just do
Yes,
easements.
and
So,
it's,
yeah,
it's just, it's just a
and it's
mess.
the way it was done years ago. That's how they did
Yeah.
it originally to make it work. That's how the people who owned it originally wanted to do it, so.
Yeah, and if the ditch was still there, I mean, that's really, it was a cost saving deal. Yeah, but that's gone. I mean, things change, as we all know, that ditch is gone. I don't want anything widened. I don't want any growth as much as anybody else, but
So our two options are the shared driveway and we can get 30 feet, right? Not the original 20. Or we come to agreement, abandon the driveway and start a new driveway. Those are our two options.
Well, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying is the first option. The first option right now, it's a 30 foot wide, right?
So
A
15
30-foot
for
share.
each of us.
30 foot share.
So 15 for each of us. Okay.
That's the way it was originally constructed and designed.
Or get the agreement from your neighbor.
and I guess it doesn't really matter, like, as far as cost goes, like moving boxes and stuff, that doesn't have any, because there's a box right in the corner.
Right where it's green.
Yeah, like right here. If we come 10 feet off that property line, that box, you can leave a right of way for that quest box.
So you're gonna have to work with the owner of that utility and make sure that they're comfortable with where you're placing that driveway.
Well, no, I understand. I'm saying where you guys want to put the driveway now, there's not an option for that box to.
Where I want to put the driveway, I
Where
don't.
the-
No,
want
where it's at right now, it's right next to that box, so
So
you're
it's
gonna
an
have to move
existing
it.
box.
Yeah,
We
an
may have-
existing,
We may have to move that as part of the construction process, yes.
yeah. I guess what I'm saying is it's probably gonna be cheaper if you separate those, because you're only gonna move the box from here to there, rather than move the box, 30 feet, or if you did the shared deal.
Well, again, right now, the design plans for Jay to be working on it is a shared access. That's what the design plans are off of, is a shared access.
So how do we go about abandoning that? I gotta get with the neighbor.
I've got to have a written agreement between you and your neighbor that both of you agree to this approach is abandoned. And you're going to construct one each at your own expense that meets county standards.
What you're saying is if we did that, we would have to pay
Yes.
for that.
You would have to pay for your new driveway, yes.
We're just talking like the gravel at this point in time, right?
So,
And like the engineering of it,
so there's not probably much engineering associated with it. It's going to be a driveway approach.
Yeah.
But both owners have to agree that they'll pay their respective cost of whatever that is.
What's the county standards for a driveway approach?
Well, so it's 30 foot wide.
But it can
We,
As
it
far
can be
as
gravel.
building, there's no real cost. They can just
No.
lay some gravel down.
Yeah,
Call
just
it
lay
driveway.
gravel down and that, I mean, you go through the access permit process. And that's a no cost permit, but we have to know what you're going to build. And 30 foot wide is the criteria that we normally remark on. And it's gonna be 6 foot away from the property line minimum.
So if we do that, can I apply for a horseshoe?
No, not on state road.
Cody,
You can take it out, yeah, drive-through, you can take it out the back of your property onto the road at the back.
We are all awake.
I just thought I'd ask. Okay, well, that's what I'm gonna go for then, or that's what we're gonna negotiate with the neighbor. And we're gonna try to get our own. And then as far as fencing along the front, what is the required for the fencing? Can I do split
I'll
rail?
email you the.
Can I
the
do
code.
split rail wood?
You probably can. It's just a certain distance back from the right of way, which I think is 15 feet. It can only be 3 feet tall and it can't be side obscuring. So it has to be
Well,
see-through.
all the fence along there is 6 feet.
But that's
And
not
maybe they
within
were
a
done
certain
that way
area of
historically,
the
but
right.
what I'm saying is if the right of way comes out, I think it's 15 feet back from the right of way, and I'll send you the exact ordinance as to what it states. But you have to be 15 feet at 3 feet, and it can't be side obscuring.
And that's so as you're pulling out of your driveway, you can see up and down the road.
That's adjacent to the driveway access on either side, not the full length of the property line on.
It's the
Fifth.
full length of the property line, because you can't side obscure that either.
So all the fences
I've got
well
it here.
built
I can
along
tell
there,
you
that's
exactly.
6 foot
So those are
vinyl.
Those are backyards, not front yards. This is the front yard.
It looks like a side yard.
No, it's the front yard. That is their access to their property. That is the front yard.
We might be talking about, you're talking about across the front of this property.
He's
Fence, right?
No, I'm talking about along.
Like
the
every other
yeah,
property
that's-
that you see has a 6 foot vinyl fence, like you can
So
drive
it
down
says-
any road. there's-
Backyard, yes.
But even our neighbor's fence, this one,
Yeah,
is a 6-foot fence
Across the front.
across the front.
And under today's ordinances, that would not be
It
allowed.
says no fence, wall, hedge, or other side obscuring object or structure which is more than 3 feet in height shall be constructed or allowed to exist above said height within 15 feet of the front lot line.
that's easy. So the right of way's here.
Yeah.
My yellow pencil is
So
3
you
foot high
can,
fence.
you
3
can
feet
only,
back, and then
it-
step up to
you
6
can
feet.
only be 3 foot high there.
So your split rail fence from your right of way line is 3 feet high for 15
Till you
feet.
get up back to 15 feet,
And
and
then
then you go
15
up to
feet, you can go
6.
6 feet and out.
but everything along the front has to be 3
3
feet.
feet.
Yep.
Yes.
And, yeah,
If you
Careful.
if you have a fence along here.
Yeah,
3 feet.
well, that's where we're gonna put a
But
fence.
I'm talking about this fence that you put down here. Stops at the right of way. 3 foot.
So
high.
we can't have a 6 foot fence?
Not all the
Really?
way up to the right of way, no. 15 feet from the front lot line, so you go to your front lot line, go 15 feet back, it has to be 3 foot tall, and then it can jump up to 6.
So that's
Austin,
why
he's saying, can you put a 6 foot fence this way?
Yeah, can I just line up with where that existing fence is and?
Not if,
which is why our neighbor doesn't want to redo the driveway, because she'd have to redo the fence, because then it would be a new ordinance of the 3 foot fence. That's why Lisa is saying no to that.
Let me look into that more, cause that. I don't know. Let me look into the
We've been pretty
front fence.
consistent in no front fences being.
Well, but if
higher
it's 15 feet back,
If it's
so if he
15
pulls
feet
his
back
fence
from the right of
15
way.
feet back from the right of way,
That's
it
not
can be
what you're
6
talking
feet.
No, I
going
was
that
saying
way.
right down the right.
But it can't go right up to the lot line. So if your fence was to be,
Well, I just want to put
That's
the
why
fence on the existing.
if you were to
right
run
of way.
if you were to run your fence here, you'd have to be 15 feet back.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
the
be
50
6 foot
foot right of
tall.
way for the widening is gonna be 50 feet
Yeah,
back.
it'll
And
be
then
back
another
further.
15 foot.
So 15 feet west of the right of way, you could put a 6-foot fence.
No,
5 feet
well,
from the center
okay,
line.
yeah. So it's 65 feet away from the
From
center
the
line.
center.
So do I need to put it in before the right of way happens?
No,
No, because we'll
Tear it
take it out as part of the project.
Sticking his nap time again.
All right.
We can answer other questions if you have them.
Yeah, I think we better continue with our road and bridge. Just-
Yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, guys.
All right, what's the next item?
On DocuSign is a local professional services contract for 121st South. It's for it's for the CE and I, the construction engineering and inspection for 121st South.
Okay.
And that's just one signature needed, but
Did you get a chance to look at that, John? Are you okay with that? Not to exceed 262,000. What was the number you said? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I didn't say a number.
I
but-
thought you just said 100 something.
Well, it's 121st South.
Oh, okay, that's what I was hearing you on. Okay, are you good with that? Okay. Okay, it's signed.
Okay. The next is right-of-way contract for parcel 45 along 45th.
Just, they trickle in one at a time, huh?
They are trickling in one at a time, yeah. And I hate to make them wait too long before they figure out a signature. on it, but I was hoping that it would come in by 2
It's
to
just,
3.
it's just one signature. Just didn't know.
so when did that ordinance take effect? The one that doesn't
6
allow,
foot man.
I'd have to go look back at when it was put in.
because I
Probably was put
questioned,
in one of the revisions over time.
I questioned when Pratt's bought property on 17th Street. And then Suzanne started talking about widening their side of 17th Street, they put up that rock wall all the way across the front. And
Yeah,
I'm thinking, how did they do that inside the code? And how did they do that without a fence permit? And how did planning and zoning not catch that? Because that stops the widening of 17th Street to Crowley.
A lot of
Without a
times-
bunch of
a
it
lot of
added
times
cost.
People just do stuff too. So,
But because if he did it and it wasn't permitted, when I talked to Steve about it, then they'd have been noticed that he was doing it without a permit and it should have been stopped.
if we saw it when they were building it, but a lot of
Steve
times
about it
people
when they
go
were
out
doing
and
it,
throw stuff up in 2 days. I don't
not
know, I
this,
can't-
because it's
It's
cement footings
concrete.
and it's the rock
Yeah, it's
wall like they have all the way down
concrete wall.
Sunnyside.
yeah. Yeah, that
I didn't
was,
even, I wasn't
It's a
even aware of
nightmare.
that.
No, you weren't.
it was a problem for the city of Hammond too. It still is.
Well, their
But it
houses
was
haven't been
county.
annexed, so it's
Right.
our problem because they're county.
The next item I want to talk with you about is the compactor. We have two of them at the transfer station. The one of them, the newer one,
It's broken all the time.
is broken all the time. The old one is getting very close to needing to be rebuilt. $550,000 to rebuild it. And it is not in the current budget to do so. And if we put this off and it goes down and the new one goes down,
We stop hauling garbage.
you stop piling garbage in the transfer station. So my best option is to try to get this older one that's non-deaf rebuilt for $550,000.
How long
About
will
this
that
last
take?
week, right?
It'll probably
did.
take them 3-4 months,
We better get started as soon as possible.
but I need
And
authorization.
what's the backup plan for when this one's down getting rebuilt and the new one goes down? A bunch of women with
So,
their skirts hiked
yeah.
up, stomping down like they're smashing grapes.
Well, I hope not, but this is our backup plan right now. And so if the new one keeps going down, if we can't find something to come in and try to help out, I don't know. I really don't.
I don't see where we've got a choice.
How much is it to buy a new machine versus rebuilding?
I'll buy another new machine like the
$50,000.
one that's breaking
But
down
that's
all the
one
time.
that breaks
That's
down
the
all
one that's
the time.
breaking down. And the other thing with that, even if I order it today, it will take a year to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice. Go ahead
Okay, I will tell Blair to get it going.
and make sure to,
Make sure Penny knows
exactly, make sure Penny knows.
it's on the budget opening.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang, you're expensive.
I know, and it's gonna get worse because I'm gonna tell you about another piece of equipment that Blair's looking at for a compactor up on the landfill. It's over $1 million to buy it outright. They also have a potential for a 48-month lease or lease to rent to own.
Do they pay the maintenance on it when it breaks down if it's
So
leased?
they send, with this particular piece of equipment, they send a container that's full of parts that are normal wear items for it. And it's a 16-foot long container and it sits there. And if things need to be replaced, it's sitting right there, but they send a container with it. So the lease on it is $20,300 a month for 48 months. And that comes with a full warranty at that for 8,000 hours.
And if you buy one, you don't get the spare parts.
If you buy one, you still get the spare parts, but it's
We
$1
do need
million
to sign
bucks.
this while we're in the meeting though, first.
If you buy it, it's $1,090,000. If you lease it, it's $20,300 or $20,300 per month for 48 months. But that's full warranty on it. And at the end of that, you could buy it outright for $250,000
So that's 979,200 for 48
for
months.
48.
And then we buy it for,
250,000. So yeah, you're paying some interest and stuff on it. But if it's been a good equipment, then you maybe just keep leasing it and get a brand new piece of equipment. It's a harder sell to pay the upfront $1 million than it is to pay the 937,000 over 4 budget years.
it's a better way to go. That doesn't seem that unreasonable to me. Because buying it was how much?
1,090,000.
about 200,000 interest for 4 years. But you have the full warranty on it.
Full warranty.
Either way.
Either way.
Either way, you have the full warranty.
Either
And
way,
the
you have
and
a
the
48.
bucket of
warranty.
parts.
And you still the container of parts. Yeah. I just, it's, again, it's not in the budget. That reserve is with the 5.8 million for the cell 4, the 2 million for the flare station, the 6 million anticipated for a new transfer station next to the existing transfer station.
How critical is this? How soon does this need to be done?
So right now, we have 2 compactors. One of them was rebuilt, and a month after it was rebuilt, it burned down. That's the
These are the
one that's
ones at the
still running.
transfer station.
No, this is
It's up on the hill.
Up on the hill. So we only have one compactor up there that's working right now. If that one goes down, we have to steal a compactor from the transfer station to try to get up there and continue stacking garbage.
So the one that burned up, is it getting repaired or is it getting buried in the garbage now? Because it's no good.
So it is not getting repaired. It is sitting over at Western States Cat. Western States Cat has basically been throwing our arms up in the air and will not do anything with it. iCrimp has talked to them multiple times about it. There was a whole investigation into it. But nothing's happening. And it's been a year and we still don't have it back. And the people are saying, well, even if we, Bonneville County wanted to pay for it to be repaired, we can't get you parts. We can't rebuild it for you. And it'd cost $800,000 to rebuild. But that was if we're buying it or buying all the parts to rebuild one that's currently burned down.
And who did the rebuild before it burned down?
Western States Cat. They did the full rebuild.
So that's sitting at their shop.
They actually admitted that their starter caused the problem to burn it down, but they're not willing to stand behind that and
Sounds
rebuild
like
it.
something
We
iCrimp needs
talked to
to be-
Scott Hall about this.
Scott Hall has been notified as far as I'm aware. iCrimp's been aware of this.
Shouldn't be setting this long. There should be
Shouldn't be,
action
but it
taken
is.
somehow.
Yes, I agree. Something needs to be, Scott needs to send them a letter and demand action. So I suggest you come to our legal counsel next Tuesday. Can you do
Tuesday.
that?
Yeah,
And
I
we'll-
think so.
Let's get something going on that. Scott needs to go to work on this,
Tuesday at what time?
1:30.
1:30.
And I think that we're good with going with the compactor for the transfer station, getting it moving on a lease.
Well, so
That one's
the one at the transfer station is a rebuild.
Or I meant
Yeah.
the rebuild, yeah.
500,000.
As far as the one for the Peterson Hill, I'd rather wait for Roger to get
Yeah.
here and make that decision with him. I'd
Okay.
rather what we do with that one.
Yeah.
On that lease or buy.
Yeah, I'm not used to spending that kind of money.
Yeah,
I,
let's wait till we get Roger here next week and decide on that.
I'll bring it back next week.
Okay.
Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. You've had
We just have an appointment letter for Kelly Tuttle for Planning and Zoning Commission. The city's never provided us with anybody. He lives in the city area of impact, so we're just gonna appoint him to be a city rep, Kelly Tuttle. And just while you're signing this, just as kind of a side note, I have redone the planning and zoning bylaws. And the P and Z board should vote acceptance on those. Or one way or another on those next Wednesday. If they accept them, I'm gonna ask Weston if he wants us to actually adopt those by official county ordinance. A lot of counties do.
Okay.
And then I'll put all that stuff out on the website like we've talked
What are
about.
the changes? That's important.
After we get that done, can we meet with the planning and zoning?